Before we dive into this incredible Ohio State football story, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join the channel because if you love Buckeye football, NFL stars, and seeing former Ohio State legends dominate on the biggest stages, this is the place for you. And today's story proves once again why Ohio State isn't just a college program. It's an NFL factory built for greatness, because on Thursday night at the NFL Honors Ceremony, two former Buckeyes didn't just show up, they absolutely took over the spotlight, reminding everyone in the football world that when you wear scarlet and gray, excellence follows you wherever you go, and that excellence was on full display as Jaxon Smith-Njigba and Mike Vrabel walked away with two of the most prestigious awards the league has to offer, cementing Ohio State's reputation as one of the most powerful pipelines to professional football success, starting with Smith-Njigba, whose rise from Columbus to NFL superstardom feels like it happened fast but was years in the making, because Buckeye fans remember exactly who he was at Ohio State. A smooth route runner, a technician with the football, a guy who didn't just get open but embarrassed defensive backs in the process. And now, just a few seasons into his professional career, he has officially arrived as the best wide receiver in football, earning the NFL Offensive Player of the Year award after a season that was nothing short of dominant, leading the entire league in receiving and becoming the driving force behind the Seattle Seahawks' improbable Super Bowl run. And that's not just a nice accomplishment, that's historic territory, because very few receivers reach the top of the league this quickly, and even fewer do it with the consistency, toughness, and football IQ that Smith-Njigba has shown all season long, week after week, against the best corners in the world. And when you look at his game, it screams Ohio State development, from his ability to read coverage to his chemistry with his quarterback to his confidence in the biggest moments, and that confidence is exactly why Seattle leaned on him when everything was on the line. Because when the game tightened up, when defenses adjusted, Smith-Njigba still found ways to separate, still found ways to make plays, and still found ways to change games, and now he's headed to the Super Bowl as the league's top offensive player, carrying the legacy of Ohio State wide receivers that continues to grow every single year. Because let's be honest, the Buckeyes have been pumping out elite NFL receivers like clockwork, and Smith-Njigba is simply the latest, and possibly the most complete, version yet. But what makes this night even more special for Ohio State fans is that Smith-Njigba wasn't the only Buckeye being honored, because standing on the other side of the NFL spotlight was a man who embodies everything Ohio State football is about: toughness, leadership, and winning, and that man is Mike Vrabel, who was named NFL Coach of the Year for the second time in his career, this time after his very first season as the head coach of the New England Patriots, which is an achievement that cannot be overstated, because taking over one of the most scrutinized franchises in sports and immediately turning it into a Super Bowl team is something only a few coaches in history have ever managed to do, and Vrabel did it by bringing the same mentality he had as a player at Ohio State and in the NFL, a mentality built on accountability, physical football, and doing the little things right. And Buckeye fans know this story well, because Vrabel wasn't just a Buckeye, he was a cornerstone of Ohio State's defense, a leader in the locker room, a guy who understood what it meant to sacrifice for the team, and that mindset carried him through a successful playing career where he won multiple Super Bowls, and now it's fueling his success on the sideline, because as a coach, Vrabel has quickly established himself as one of the sharpest minds in football, someone players respect and opponents fear, and the fact that he's now leading the Patriots to the Super Bowl in his very first season there only adds another chapter to his growing legacy. And here's where this story gets even better, because this Super Bowl isn't just a big game, it's a Buckeye reunion on the biggest stage in sports, with Jaxon Smith-Njigba starring on offense for Seattle and Mike Vrabel leading New England from the sidelines, both representing Ohio State in different but equally powerful ways. And that's what separates Ohio State from so many other programs, because it's not just about producing players, it's about producing leaders, thinkers, and competitors who thrive at every level of the game. Whether that's catching touchdowns on Sunday or designing game plans that shut down the league's best offenses. And when you step back and look at the bigger picture, this night at the NFL Awards wasn't just about individual trophies, it was about validation that Ohio State's approach to football works, that the competition inside the program prepares players for the intensity of the NFL, and that the culture in Columbus builds people who are ready for the brightest lights, because when former Buckeyes step into the league, they don't need years to adjust, they're already built for it, and that's why you continue to see Ohio State players making immediate impacts, breaking records, winning awards, and playing deep into January and February, and it's not slowing down anytime soon, because as Smith-Njigba prepares for the Super Bowl, another former Buckeye, TreVeyon Henderson, is also set to play a major role in the game, adding yet another Ohio State storyline to football's biggest night. And that's the beauty of it, because no matter where you look in the NFL, you'll find Ohio State fingerprints all over the league, from star players to elite coaches, and nights like this prove that the Buckeye standard doesn't end when players leave campus, it follows them, pushes them, and elevates them to the very top of the sport. So as we get ready for the Super Bowl, remember this moment, remember this awards night, because it wasn't just a celebration of individual success, it was a celebration of Ohio State football as a whole, a program that continues to shape the NFL in ways few schools ever have. And if you're a Buckeye fan, you already know this, but the rest of the football world is being reminded again and again. Ohio State doesn't just produce pros, it produces the best of the best.